What is extremely rare, but people think it's very common? I want to hear what you humans have to say about this topic. Based on movies, I'd say architects. Every professional worker in movies is an architect who goes to work every day with rolled up drawings hoping they are ready for the big presentation that will make or break their career. Big penises. At work right now, so I'm not googling the stats, but if you've ever had the pleasure of perusing through the Craigslist personals, you should. It's gold. There are a ton of women wanting a guy with at least a 9 schlong. 9 must be larger than 90% of pornsters. That's your bottom limit? You have no idea how rare a male genitalia over 9 long is. 2 former co-workers, women, once claimed that they believe 8 inches was the average male genitalia size. They are setting themselves up for a life of disappointment. There are only 13 advertising blimps in use around the world, yet it's so common to see them when there's a football game. Being in an airplane crash, it's 1 in a million, but a lot of people I know are still more scared to travel on a plane than in a car. You almost never see 2 guys walking across the street carrying a big pane of glass. I was on a college visit once, and I saw 2 guys walking holding a big pane of glass. I took a good look, because I know it will never happen again. I once slipped on a banana peel. I took a moment to really absorb it, because I couldn't believe it had actually just happened. Autistic people being geniuses or savants. I work as a behavior therapist for autistic children. Many people seem to think that autism means a child is only socially awkward, but incredibly book smart. The huge majority of the clients I work with are far behind in cognitive development, which leads to them being far behind in education and related areas like reading and basic math. Edit. I just wanted to add that I love my job and the clients I work with. I feel blessed to be able to work with them, and they amaze me every day, regardless of their level of intelligence and functioning. Edit 2. This is not to say that savants or highly intelligent / gifted people with autism don't exist. They do, and I have met them as well. Autism is a spectrum, so you will meet all types of people with it who are completely different. No single person with autism is exactly the same as any other. I was just pointing out that autistic geniuses are not as common as the media portrays. At least they are vaccinated. People giving away drugs to kids at Halloween. Why would they give away product they could sell? A woman's water breaking during pregnancy. It only happens outside of the hospital like 15% of the time, but in the movies it's always the dramatic telling of when a baby is coming. I'm gonna go with people actually eating Tide Pods. Probably just a few idiots that the media latched onto. Shark attacks. I live in Perth, supposedly one of the shark attack capitals of the world. Sure, we see them occasionally, but actual attacks are very rare. The fit guy laughing at the fat newbie at the gym. When I was fat getting into shape, I got nothing but positive reinforcement from these guys to never give up and keep going. My fat friends were paranoid people and assumed people were laughing at them. In reality, gym goers were just being social and laughing about their conversations. From my experience at the gym, usually people don't really give a poop what you're doing or what your body type is, unless you're either being a male genitalia or being dumb. I don't give a poop if you're fat, thin, tall, or short. Just re-rack your weights and don't sit texting on a machine you are done using and you're now tied with everyone else for my favorite person in the gym. Laughing at a fat person at a gym is like laughing at an injured person at a hospital having green eyes. Only 1 to 2% of humans on Earth have green eyes. Burglary in the middle of the night. Burglary happens most often during the day when nobody is home. No burglar wants to break in and try to sneak around your place while you're sleeping. His biggest concern is to evade detection. It makes more sense to work in the daytime. In all likelihood, that noise you heard outside was a car or a coon or your imagination. Go to sleep. That's exactly what a burglar would say. Don't trust this person. Quicksand. Using stop, drop and roll. Pleading insanity to escape punishment for a crime. There was even a pretty so-so movie about it a while ago. In reality, it is very rare that insanity is used as a criminal defense strategy. Fewer than 1% of criminal cases in the US involve the insanity defense. Here's a PDF source for your perusal if you're not the type to trust some guy on the internet. Even then, It is only successful in 1 out of 4 attempts, and that involves convincing a psychiatrist that you're insane, so don't hang your hat on it if you're thinking about killing someone. Writing code that executes on first compile. 99 bugs in the code on my screen. 99 little bugs. Take one down. Figure it out. 130 little bugs in my code. I'm gonna go with T-Rex fossils. I at least thought they were rather common, since my local museum had like 3. There are something like only 2-4 dozen ever found in the world, and only about 12 skulls. Edit. Guess it is about 50. Was going on memory. Still a bit low, if you ask me, considering how much we talk about dinos. Edit 2. Since everyone keeps thinking they are replicas / casts, it is the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles which has at least 3 T-Rex. When I was little, I also didn't realize how lucky I was to have such a huge and wonderful museum nearby. Now we have the Endeavour right next to it. ROSC, return of spontaneous circulation after CPR. I believe the actual success rate is 3%, and those people are very likely to have brain damage. Media would have you thinking it's a great catch-all for any unconscious person. Here's the thing though, a lot of times the CPR isn't what gets them circulating on their own again. What it does, however, is maintain blood flow, so that by the time they get the treatment that will get them pumping again, they are less likely to have brain damage. Yes, the success rate is low. Even lower if it's performed poorly. But even 3% is better than 0%. Hitting a jackpot. That's why casinos exist and are hugely profitable. Heck, late last year in my city a woman won $1.2 million just on a VLT at a local bar. Great for her, but you know it lead to an increase in people burning through their paychecks on those machines. Plutonium in 1955. I'm sure that in 1985 plutonium is available at every corner drugstore, but in 1955 it's a little hard to come by. Being able to make it as a musician or actor or many other creative jobs. And by making it, I mean being able to earn some serious money or even just to make a living by just performing and not doing anything else. Most of the time, you will have to have multiple side projects that only roughly are related to actually performing. Or so I've heard. If there are people with personal experience in these fields, I'd love to read your comments. Getting killed by a serial killer who comes out with a mask and a knife every Halloween night. How would he have the time to kill that many teenagers? OCD. Half the population act like they have it, but only a small percent really do. Humans just generally like symmetry and tidiness, which doesn't even relate to actual OCD much, but people are ignorant and naive. Edit. This blew up for understandable reason. Glad we all could vent. Rip and barks. Replying as much as I can. I have a minor case to where I would tap on things 4 times and I took meds that help with ADHD, but it would strengthen my OCD to where I'd get paranoid in an odd repetitive way, constantly checking things. Edit. I might post a mega rant detailing my life with disorders. All these replies are making me understand and realize my life even more. I can't rant at school on phone though. Last edit. To the first edit bullet point. The ADHD medicine also made me have pretty much zero appetite, meaning I'd be so tired because I rarely ate, thus messing up my metabolism. As soon as I stopped taking my medicine I ended up gaining a lot of weight because I could finally eat properly in the first time in years. I'm currently dedicating this year to lose weight and focus on my passions in spite of my stupid disorders. Astronomer here. Total solar eclipses. Hear me out. Obviously, we know that they're not common at any given point on Earth, but you'll have about one a year somewhere on the planet, so it's not unreasonable to see one if you plan a little. But with that context, it turns out our moon is the only moon we know of that is the exact same size of the sun in our sky. Mars's moons, for example, are captured asteroids too puny to cover the sun's disk, and the further out you go the planet's moons are so big it more than covers the tiny size of the disk. So, with that, 100% of total solar eclipses, where you actually get the sun obscured and see the corona and all that jazz, happens on Earth. And this effect won't happen forever either, because the moon is moving away from us a few inches a year. In a few 100 million years no one will see total solar eclipses anymore. My dream is that one day, Earth will be a galactic tourist hotspot because of this. successfully saving someone trapped by a fire via re-entering a burning building. The mortality rate for this is really high and fire departments have petitioned to stop showing this in movies because it usually results in another life being lost. As much as I know this to be true, if I thought there was even a slight chance of saving my friend, family, or heck even my cat, I'd try. Probably not for a stranger though, I don't know. A potential mate who is successful, smart, funny, attractive, mentally stable, ready for commitment and single. And attracted to you. Deaths caused by nuclear power. It's actually far safer than just about every other type of power generation in terms of deaths caused each year. People genuinely needing to go to the emergency room. Also people understanding that calling 911 for medical problems is for life or limb threatening emergencies only, that riding in an ambulance will not get you seen faster, and that driving yourself to the VA/doctor/urgent care is not only cheaper but smarter. Celiac disease/gluten sensitivity. Despite the prevalence of gluten-free and reduced gluten foods, only a very small percentage of population have an actual legitimate medical reason to avoid gluten. If the BBC has taught me anything, it would be murders in small British villages.
Hey, yo.